Nowadays, when I'm going on gigs or sessions, I've kind of condensed down my gear for the modern transportable age. I either usually bring my big pedal board here, which features my Kemper player, or more often, I'll bring my quad Cortex board, right? So I've just got a pedal train here with the quad, a expression pedal, power supply on the back, nice and simple. So I can usually get away with just bringing this and then a guitar in a gig bag. But I'm always really interested in seeing if I can reduce the amount of stuff I'm bringing. So that's actually where the Sonicake Matribox 2 comes in. Hey, what's up? My name's Danny McLaughlin. Welcome to the YouTube channel. And as someone who is interested in innovation within the guitar world, within the gear world, and as someone who also likes to build up this community of guitar players who are, interested in gear like this, Sonicake actually sent me this pedal to check out. I probably shouldn't call it a pedal, it's more of a multi-effect amp in a box kind of thing, very similar to what we're seeing with Kempers and Quad Cortexes, Axe effects, the like. I've never heard of Sonicake or the Matribox 2, but I looked up this product and I saw that it was $229, which appeals to me in a non-cost prohibitive sense, For reference, my current rig, which is this Quad Cortex and the Lille volume pedal, this costs a little under $2,000, and that's before cables, that's before a guitar, that's even before a speaker. So it's a large buy-in for pretty good sound. And so now I've spent the last few weeks with the Matribox 2, and I've got some pros and cons to share with you. And I'll also let you know at the end of this video whether or not I think this would replace my Quad Cortex. So the Matribox 2 comes in this box here. We're gonna do a little bit of an unboxing real quick. Open it up. Got some decent enough packaging. Again, you can kind of see how small it is. I have pulled this out once, but I packaged it back up to make it look like, I guess I haven't checked it out, but yeah, decent enough. Now check that out. That's nice and small. Power. A USB-A to USB-C cable. And then finally a relatively small user manual. Let's put this to the side. Yeah, relatively small, just enough to let you know kind of what's going on, but I wouldn't say that there's a ton that you need to know about. All right, so we're gonna dig a little bit further into the tones in just a second. But first of all, I wanna tell you the things that I like about this thing are obviously the size. This is the smallest one of these that I've seen so far. I thought the Quad Cortex was small. This is actually pretty great. In addition to the fact that there is an integrated volume/wah pedal here, you normally don't see that on pedals of this size. There's a nice bright LED screen that you'll see in just a second. Unfortunately, it's not a touch screen, but what can you ask for at $229? I think it looks really sleek and well built. I would have no problem just putting this directly onto a stage, or even like an outdoor setting, like on a driveway or any kind of place, where we typically set up music. Yeah, I've played in some weird spaces before. We have clickless pedal actuations, which are always nice. The knobs all feel really nice. And then obviously the sound, which we'll get to in just a second. There's plenty of I/O in the back, including headphone out, which is normally on units like these, they're 1/4 inch, but this one's an 1/8 inch, so it'll work with like normal Apple earbuds. Maybe a pro or a con for you. Similar to the 1/8 inch, there's the auxiliary in, so pass someone the aux cord and you can play through it. There's an extra expression pedal input, which I'm not totally sure what you would use that for outside of maybe adding in like another switch system. Interestingly, there's an FX loop on here. And then you've got a balanced 1/4 inch out, which is kind of where I start the list of my cons of this pedal. I don't know why it doesn't have XLR. All of these that I use, all of these multi-effects, the whole rig in a box thing, they've got XLR outputs. That's like one of my biggest complaints with the Universal Audio aux, is that it doesn't have an XLR output. This should have an XLR output. I think that they could put that on there. So there is MIDI over 1/8 inch, which I've never seen before. Again, I don't really know why they couldn't just put MIDI I/O on the side here. 1/8 inch I've never seen really work super well on a pedal board. On the next point, there's not really much by way of advanced switching. So I don't know if this would exactly replace a full pedal board, right? This advances your preset forward and takes the preset backward which I do wish that there was maybe even just 1 or 2 more switches on here so that you could incorporate at least, 4 sounds in a rig. A lot of the, in-song modifications that you might want to make are actually buttons here. So like take adding in chorus. It's a button on here. And so that's a little bit of a challenge to have to reach down and press that if you need to engage chorus, let's say for one section of a song. Otherwise, you're doing a lot of programming in here, which is fine. I've actually seen that a lot with keyboard players where they might just advance through different presets over the course of like an entire show, and they'll go through 200 presets, and there's a lot of duplicates. That's fine. Just a lot of work. This seems like something that might take some homework to do before you bring it out to just a regular gig. It's definitely not something you'd just want to, roll in with. Let's check out some of the sounds. I'm personally a big fan of presets. Some people might not like presets. Some people might think that that's not being creative with your own sounds. I like to judge things based on their presets. So let's go ahead and run through a few of them right now together, and we'll check out how this thing sounds. I'm using my PRS Silver Sky. I'm going to be generally using the humbucker for this because it's a little noisy. This one's called Brit Drive. Clean tones are the hard thing to get on a modeler like this. So this one's a tone called Bebop. This preset's called Golden Age. That one sounded pretty nice. A lot of the delays and reverbs were engaged like correctly. It sounded mixed. This one's called 60s OD. That one had a little bit of a weird buzzing sound to it. This one's called Lo-Fi Vibra. Alright, that one was cool. I did enjoy playing that one. This one's called Silver Hand, and it's pretty heavy. A good example of maybe some of the quality of these presets is just how much noise is coming from them. You'd have to be up on your volume knob for that one. I'm always a big fan of sound design stuff, so anything that can kind of inspire something. I feel like this is kind of a good example of an inspirational patch. Yeah, sounds cool. All right, so always an exciting one to see, Plexi Lead. We all know what this sounds like. A Marshall Plexi amplifier should have some pretty classic, like 80s tones. That was good. That was real good. But in that case, I kind of feel like the noise gate could have been set a little bit better. This one's called Max Shimmer. So will this replace my quad Cortex or Kemper on a gig? No, not yet. Maybe in the future. You know, these things are updatable. I do find it to sound a little bit more digital than I'd like it to. The realism is not totally there like I'd see in some of these more higher priced units. That being said, I actually do think that this is going to be something that I keep in my car. I have a little box in my car that I keep at all times, actually. In case you're ever planning on breaking into my car, I've got some gear in there. But this would be something that would replace the Quad Cortex or the Kemper in a really quick pinch. Reliably, I'd get a decent sound. That's always something that actually I worry about, is something like the Kemper or the Quad Cortex going down and I don't really have any backup options. You know, it's not like you can start pulling cables or do a bypass. It's really only direct in at that point. So I feel like I could get a really decent sound with this to make it through something like that in an emergency setting. So I think another interesting question is, would I recommend this to people? And the answer is yes. For $229, the Matribox 2 is a lot of sound. It's a lot of really good rigs. It's a lot of usable tones. I think when I started playing, I had one of those Digitech units, the multi-effects units, and I got a lot of mileage out of that. It's like $100. But it didn't have nearly as many presets as this does, and it certainly didn't incorporate amplifiers like this does. So I'm a fan. But what did you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Is this something you'd buy? Is this something you'd consider? Any similar products in this price range that you dig? I always want to talk about it in the comments down below, so let me know. But anyway, thanks for sticking around to the end. My name's been Daniel McLaughlin. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.